and good morning. Hello and good morning, friends. Look at this grapevine. I've already eaten 2 salads off of it. And it's coming down a lot further already than it did last year. And this year it has baby grapes. My husband's been wanting to try using them. We'll see how that goes. And we have irises, my mother's irises. So I wanted to demonstrate this morning because everything's getting overgrown all of a sudden. How to weed with a hoe. So I'm going to see if I can get the camera set up here. This is the bed where I planted curly dock. Why couldn't I think of it? Curly dock, which is doing nicely right here. So I'm going to hopefully demonstrate here how a hoe works. People think you go chop chop, but no, you don't. You go scrape. And you're just cutting the tops off of the weeds as you go. And you end up with sort of a roll of earth, which I end up pushing back. Kind of hard when I eat a lot of these weeds. Which ones do I cut? I am chopping when it's a particularly tough weed, so definitely can do both. This one had a pretty thick bit to get through, so sometimes chopping, if you're dealing with smaller weeds, scraping is all you really need to do. So if I'd gotten to this earlier in the year, when things were small, when the weeds were young, scraping is all would have been needed to. So I'm trying to be choosy here because some of these weeds are weeds that I eat. This pile of weeds becomes a kind of mulch. You don't want to leave bare earth. mulch. Otherwise you get things like washout. I'm going to use turn it around and pound on a clod of dirt, break it up. When you're doing this, be sure to engage your core muscles and your lower abdomen, or else you will strain your back. If you don't know what that means, to engage your core muscles, it means suck in your gut. I'm going to pick you up here, show you what we've done. So here's where I've scraped. You can see there's some bare dirt. We don't want bare dirt. We want to cover it back over. But you can see these weeds have been cut down. Now these guys here, sorry, this one is not. I was having trouble in this particular area because these I want to keep. This is mosh gone to flower. So I am coming back in to hand weed around because it was a little tangly in there. But you can see over here, the grass has been dug up. Not perfectly. Oh, had some psyllium there. So now, like I said, I pull the weeds back over to act as a mulch. That's a leaf that I want on top there. This is the curly dock that I brought in, and ooh, that's a nasty critter right there. I don't want in my garden. I squish him with my hoe. He just became compost. So yeah, the curly dock is doing good. Here's another one. I planted 6, and I believe all 6 are thriving. This one's doing really well. I actually harvested from him yesterday. Oops, didn't get that weed. Curly dock. And a little baby curly dock. So I'll probably have to spend more time. I might dig out those they're not sunflowers, what are they? Goldenrod, and put them by the house because they grow nice and tall, so they'll shade the house. I have flowers by the house because the house is old, and I'm pretty sure the ground there is contaminated with creosote. But while we're at it, there's a wild lettuce over here that I will chop down as well. Hopefully I can do that while I'm holding the camera. All right, might be a wild ride here. And one of its offspring, I don't know if they spread by root, I would not be surprised. So, very useful tool. Scrape, chop, dig with a corner, turn it upside down and smash clods of dirt. Don't neglect your hoe. All right, check out the garden. A lot of the low white shrubby stuff you're seeing is the mosh that's gone to seed. It's looking like a really good year. We are expecting cold temperatures this weekend, possibly even frost, so I still have my covers out. I harvested a lot of the cilantro a couple of days ago, and the rest I'm going to let bolt. I have a giant bowl of it. Still using it for salads until it really seriously bolts, like that one right there. Oop. That one right there is bolting. So it's got a different shape to the leaves now. Oh, let me show you the pea plants also. They're already making peas. These are the ones I had started indoors. Very happy. Oh, look at that. Already has a pea on that one too. So I've got them all along here, little peas. The strawberries are already producing. I did not manage to get them moved. I wanted to move them back into the ziggurat, but as you can see, the mosh, there's the little white things. That's the grains that I was relying on back in February and January even. It was the very first greens to come up. They really kind of took over the sides of it, so I didn't want to disturb it. What else is going on? The garlic greens are doing fabulous. I've been eating a lot of those. And oh my goodness, look. The coneflower's coming up. My apples have leafed out. I've given them one spray so far of the fungicide. This guy, tragically, I need to just take out. I was going to try to move him, but look how gigantic he is. He's only 2 years old, and he's coming up on 20 feet. He did get bitten pretty badly by that late polar vortex we got in March. The hazelnut has leafed out. Sorry, I'm pointing upwards. The elderberry started leafing out early, and my cultivated grapes are also doing nicely. I'm going to turn my attention to the paths before long. You would think that just walking on them as often as I do would keep them really down, but I guess I don't walk on them as often as I think I do. Oh, makes me sad when there's food growing in the walkway. Yeah, so I'll need to weed this over here, and I think I'm going to move, what was it I was going to move over here? Something else that loves shade. Ooh, I've already forgotten. I had big plans last night when I was going to sleep. Like, oh, I could move such and such. It likes the shade. Oh, garlic mustard. Garlic mustard. It's yet to bloom in my woods, but I saw it at the park yesterday. I'm thinking I'm going to put garlic mustard over here. It's another plant that the Europeans brought over as food, and it's a mustard that tastes garlicky, just exactly like it sounds. Really lovely stuff if you get it early enough, but it bolts quickly. The other thing I wanted to show you is the blueberries are doing pretty well. I transplanted them, and they're not showing a lot of signs of shock. This one may be a little bit in shock because he was further along in the growth cycle. He already had flowers when I moved him. And this one's doing really nicely here. So this year, I know once the blueberries start to develop, I have to cover these guys with netting because I lost all of my blueberries to birds last year. That's just what happens. All right. That's today in the square spiral garden. Look at those fleabane. Woo!